I regret not shooting the intro link outside where this beast was placed.
After several failed attempts at making a forge, I finally made a forge that I think would stand the test of time and would be more permanent. This is a coal-fed furnace in which I tried to melt copper.
So for copper, nothing much happened, and for aluminium, it does work.
Although melting metals was not my intention while I was making this forge, but I simply gave it a try. There is nothing new to add to the forge making process or melting metals because there are lots of awesome videos on that subject. But when I was making this forge, I ran into a lot of roadblocks which I am going to address in this video. Everything looks doable and easy when you watch a video, but when you try doing it is when reality pinches you, and it happened to me. I'm Josh and welcome to my channel, Video Epo. Let us skip the making part of this forge. For all it is refractory bricks that is stacked on top of each other, supported by some angle lines which are welded together. I will try and cover some important points which I think are relevant in this context. First one is the refractory brick. There are many kinds of them available in the market. I think this is made with clay and other refractory materials that I'm not really aware of. This thing is solid, it's real hard and it can take a beating, and drilling a hole through it was a real pain. Why did I choose this material in the first place? My intention for buying these bricks was to make a rocket stove, and I had bought this material when the lockdowns were partially open and I had to travel about 20 kilometers to buy these things. And while I was there, I thought of buying refractory castables for the forge and refractory bricks for the rocket stove. But then I swapped the material and I used refractory castables to make the rocket stove, and I was left with these bricks, so I thought, why not make a forge out of the bricks? I've made a forge before. One was in clay and the other was with plaster of Paris and sand mixture. Both of them did not last long because I did not make an outer shell to support the material. I'll get to that in a minute. Once I had planned the structure I wanted to build, the next challenge was to cut these bricks, at least a few of them. You could use ceramic tile cutter or diamond tip blades, but that would be an additional expense, so I tried something else and it worked out. I used a regular cutting wheel to score ridges on the brick. Then a discarded knife can be placed on this ridge and a few gentle taps can cut the brick. Not perfect, but it is workable. If I had made this forge by mixing refractory castables and pouring it into a mold, there would be absolutely no chance of having holes on the outer walls. But since I'm using these bricks, and these bricks are not exactly of the same size, so there are chances of having gaps on the outer walls. So if I were to cover this with a metal sheet or something, and if there are gaps on the walls, the metal sheet is going to get heated up, it's going to get damaged, or in worst case scenarios, melt. That brings up another challenge, the mortar to bind these bricks. And 1 kg of mortar was costing me around 2000 rupees and I was not going to buy it. So I decided to improvise and make some of the mortar myself. I improvised and I broke a brick and crushed it back to powder. I made a mix of refractory brick powder, cement, plaster of Paris and sand. When I applied mortar onto the brick, it absorbs all of the water in the mortar instantly like a blotting paper. Even when I dipped these bricks in water for a minute or so, it was still doing the same. Somehow I made sure the gaps are filled. This structure is in no shape to hold itself together. Instead of using a complete cover, I'm only making corner structure with angle iron. This way, even if it cracks or any gaps appear, it will be visible and I can still repair it. It took me almost 2 hours to make 1-inch hole for the air inlet pipe. This material is almost like a rock and very dense. I broke a couple of drill bits trying to do it. Then I used an old chisel to make the hole and I had to be slow and careful not to break the brick. That's also the reason why I did not make the lid, but I'm going to simply cover the top using a spare brick. I have nothing against these bricks. These bricks are really strong and they are super durable, and they can withstand a temperature about 2000 degrees centigrade. Just that it is way too complicated for a project that can be made in a day's time with just 200 rupees. If this was a fixed forge, these bricks would have been an excellent choice, but then that's not what I'm after, that's not my goal, but somehow this is what it has come to be. So does this forge work? In other words, was it worth the effort? Let's test it. I've got a crucible for this project, and this crucible cannot go into the fire or into the forge directly out of the box or from the packaging. What we need to do is to condition this crucible in order to avoid cracking, and that's what the manufacturer says. Now the way we do that is by placing this in the oven and heating it to about 200 degrees centigrade and letting it cool gradually, naturally, and repeat that process for about 2 cycles. This is where I realized how important a lid is for this forge and a speed controller for the air blower. I filled up the crucible with copper wire stripped from electrical cables. Then I covered the forge with brick and I ran it up for about an hour and refilling the charcoals now and then. With great expectation, I pulled out the crucible.
Despite running this bugger for about an hour or something, the wires are still there. They haven't really melted. It's just the way I put it in there.
If you're thinking of melting copper in a charcoal forge like this, I think it is possible, but then you will end up spending more money on charcoal than the money that you will get out of selling those copper ingots. Yes, it's good as a science experiment, but it is not really ideal for commercial purposes.
Before making a forge, it is important that you make a set of tongs. These are like some gardening tools that I had made before, but you definitely need some tongs because it's so hot in there that if it was for making something like this, it's quite easy to work with, but to lift or to pull a crucible from inside, it's quite difficult without some tongs. So that is one of the important things that you want to keep in mind, because I wasn't able to grab this crucible and pour it into that, there's a cup, into that small little cup over there. So yeah, this whole place is a mess. This was a trial, so let me improvise on this. Copper was a bit stubborn, so let's try and use aluminum and see if this can work.
When I pulled out the red hot crucible with molten aluminum inside, the top part was filled with charcoal. When I tried to pour it into the mold, all of the charcoal and slag slipped and fell as well. While I'm not really proud of what I've made here, I'm still happy that this is the first time I've made an aluminum ingot. Tasting success and knowing that this method works, I melted it again. This time, the container was big enough to accommodate more aluminum scraps. Practice makes perfect is what they say. Sorry about the camera angle, but this was a near perfect pour. And there, I've got a beautiful looking ingot. Before we wrap up, here is a pointer. If you're looking at melting aluminum, just get a stainless steel kitchen container that fits inside the forge. It is more than enough for you. It will cost you only 40 rupees versus the crucible, which was around 500 rupees and not large enough to accommodate bigger chunks of scrap metal. I tried clay pot as a crucible as an experiment, but that doesn't work. Hope you got something out of this video. I was just trying to add something to the already present information on the subject, and I hope I did my part. I'm planning to do more videos on iron-smithing, just trying to push myself there, and please give me a support, guys. I could do with that. Please subscribe to my channel, Video Epo. Thanks for watching this video this far. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye-bye.